Am I looking at the camera? I'm looking
You are. Morning, Michaela. How are you?
Really good, thanks. Really
good. We are here with Michaela Breeze this morning. We're very, very lucky. She's invited us back to Ivy Bridge Community College. You can probably hear the children behind us jumping around on the climbing wall out there. But it is less than 100 days now to the Olympics, and Michaela has really, really kindly said that she is going to chat to us about how things are going behind the scenes, because obviously there's been an awful lot of hype about the torch and training, and obviously we've been sort of seeing our local kind of celebrities going off and doing what they're doing. So we're just going to come up and chat with you today about what really is happening. Gather from the news this morning that the torch is leaving Athens today. It's quite exciting, coming over to the UK and travelling through our local villages a weekend's time, which is quite cool. So from your perspective, behind the scenes now, it really is counting down the weeks, isn't it?
It is. It's in the press now, and everybody is starting to get the hype. But believe it or not, for the athletes, it's been going on for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
They've been focusing so hard on trying to get ready for this summer, and things now are starting to become more and more in the public eye. You've got the torch relay about to start, and I think that will start to bring communities out and get them involved, and to give them, I guess, a sense of national pride and feeling part of the game. So was it next weekend, torch relays coming through the local community, so I'm going to go out, I'm going to go and watch.
Are you?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean,
good.
It's one of these things that
have to get involved.
We're never going to witness again. And you know, it's a long way to travel to see it happen in other countries. So
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Quite privileged, really.
Absolutely.
And I think it's nice because there's a lot of excitement at the moment about the torch and the Olympics being here. There's a lot of discussion about finance and everything as well, but generally I think most people are feeling quite excited about it all now.
You're never going to please everybody. There's always going to be some critics and what have you, but for goodness sake, this is an Olympic Games coming to our home country. Let's get behind it. You know, yes, it's going to cost a lot of money, but a lot of that money, we need to remember, hasn't come from the government. It's actually been funds have been raised through local, so that's a London organising committee. So it's not actually costing the taxpayer anywhere near what people actually think.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely. So it is really, really exciting. So less than 100 days to go. People are getting more and more excited about what's actually happening, but like you say, from the athlete's point of view, there's a lot of work still to be done, because some athletes haven't got their places yet. Talk us through how what the selection process is for your particular sport, so your weightlifting, but generally
it depends on the sport. I mean, different sports have different criteria, and quite simply, most sports will have a set of criteria to select their athletes.
Yeah.
Those selection processes have started to happen. Some have happened, most of which will be happening now in the next few months, in the next few weeks, month or so. Yeah. I know with the weightlifting, the final cut-off is the British Senior Championships in 3 weeks' time. That's
so they're really gaining for that.
That's it, game over then. At that point, the selectors go away, they look at who's produced what results, and they then use their criteria to narrow it down and select the athletes that are going to be part of London. That's going to happen, and you're going to hear more and more in the press now about, this team's been announced, this team's been announced, and you're going to start finding out who Team GB will be, and who will be representing us this summer, and that really is when, I mean, I've got goosebumps now.
It's really exciting,
But I remember receiving the phone call for Athens and Beijing to say you're in, and it was so overwhelming to know that you've trained for so many years of your life or something. And I think, these athletes are going to be really hyped up now, but at the same time still completely focused on what they've got to do.
I was going to say, having to maintain their focus all that time, it's not just big sigh of relief to get into the team. They've still got an awful lot of work to do.
Selection is just the start of it, and that's when I think for the athletes the reality will kick in, and they'll start to realise the size or the scale of what's about to come, and the fact that the games are in this country for British athletes is going to definitely increase the pressure. I always used to try and put that to one side and completely focus on what I was doing, but there is added pressure competing in the home games. Manchester Commonwealth in 2002 was phenomenal pressure. Huge.
Because some of these athletes we won't have met yet. Obviously there are some that obviously we know quite well from previous Olympics and what have you. So you were talking about pressure just now. For the people that we haven't seen yet, that are now just coming through, and we will obviously hear their names an awful lot. How did you maintain your pressure, and what would you kind of say to these new athletes that we will hear about in the next few weeks?
There's going to be pressure on a lot of people now coming into the games, and I think at the end of the day, let's take away the results. let's look at what these athletes can control.
Yeah.
They can't control the gold medals, they can't control the records. What they can control is their training between now and then.
Yeah.
They can control all of the other little factors in their life, and if they can reduce any external factors by just focusing on the controllables, they can hopefully then get to qualification, get to competitions with the best preparation.
Exactly.
And if they can do that on competition day, all we can ask is those guys do the best they can. And if their best is a medal, fantastic. If it's good enough for a personal best, then great. And forget the medals, let's take that pressure away, because at the end of the day, you can go out and smash personal bests, break a world record, but if somebody does that a bit more, there's nothing you can do. So I always say, focus on the things you can control, give it your best, and at the end of it, if you can turn around and say, I did everything I could, then whatever the result, well done.
Speaks a great voice of major achievement, because obviously even getting to selection is a major achievement, and I think we're quite good at kind of putting the pressure on ourselves, aren't we? Kind of, pushing them even harder, because we want the gold medals and things. But they've done extraordinarily well to get to selection and to get to where they are now, and even contemplating focusing on GB. So
for every Olympian takes millions of other people around the world to try and to give it their all. So we forget that the team itself are quite special.
Yeah, absolutely. Super exciting. And you're going to be there. You're working at the Olympics, aren't you? So can you tell us a little bit about that? What are you up to?
I got busy times actually during the games. There's a couple of opportunities that have come up. I've got tickets for a few events that I've managed.
I was going to ask you about what you're going to see.
Yeah, I've got tickets. I've got tickets for Tom's 10-metre platform final, assuming he makes the final. We've got tickets for athletics, super finals night.
So chatty.
Women's hockey semis.
Fantastic.
Badminton. We've got a few bits and bobs. I managed to get some tickets for some of the kids here as well.
Have you? Oh, fantastic.
But I've had to go through a contact in Australia to get those, because I wasn't successful with the British system. So I know what I've got, but I've also been given an opportunity to work competition platform side. It's a voluntary position, working as a technical official for the weightlifting.
Fantastic.
So my role is production assistant, and from what I understand, I think anything that goes wrong technically is going to come back to me. So,
okay.
So I've got a bit of pressure, but something I'm looking forward to, and at least I get to be competition platform side. I get to see all the weightlifting and hopefully see some impressive competitions.
So you'll still have the pressure on to get the job right, but you won't be competing, which I guess will be in a nice position to be. So do you know roughly what that actually entails? What will you be doing on a daily basis?
I haven't got a clue.
You don't know yet.
All I know is I think I'm being put up in a hotel just literally across the road from the weightlifting.
Okay.
I think there's going to be 2 or 3 competitions per day at the start of the games. Not just the medal categories, we're also going to have B and C groups. Okay. So I'm guessing here that I'm going to have to be at the competition a couple of hours before, make sure everything's tested, up and running, ready to go.
Kit's
I'll be there.
Well.
That's it. I'll be there throughout the competition, making sure there's no technical issues, and then maybe a couple of minutes for a tea break before the next event. So
Fantastic.
It's going to be a bit manic.
But exciting, really exciting. Well, listen, really well done for all that, really fantastic, and thank you so much for talking to us today. We didn't talk about kit. So, we're just going back, aren't we? Sort of jumping all over the place. But they get selected. You get the call, which obviously you had a couple of times, several times. You get the call to say you've been selected, and that's when it starts becoming Team GB rather than
there's a load
potential
of
competitor.
I guess a load of paperwork that's got to be completed. Most of which actually would have been done by the athletes quite a while ago. Yeah. The team would have all of that, so when they announce the team, it's dead easy. They just pick out the relevant bits of paper. But you still got certain protocol to jump through. But probably one of the most exciting days is definitely the kitting out process. For Athens, we went to London. And we literally, they called us in, they opened 2 suitcases, and they just kept bringing kit in. You tried a t-shirt on, got the right size, and then they went out and got stacks of others. And for Beijing, it was slightly different. We went to the NEC in Birmingham. They had different rooms allocated for different types of kit. So your first room you went into was, I think it was the formal wear, so the blazers, the shirts, and what have you. Then you went into the casual wear, which is your jeans. I mean, when you're part of Team GB, if you do leave the village and go out into town or you go out to meet people, you're not supposed to wear the official logoed kit. So they give you casual kit, jeans and...
Do they really? That's interesting. I like this, behind the scenes stuff.
The logos are on the inside, so on the waistband and whatever. And then you go through to t-shirts and shorts, then it's tracksuits, and then there's shoes. Shoes, you get, oh goodness me, your trainers, your formal shoes, your opening ceremony shoes, flip-flops, then your actual sport-specific shoe as well. So it is a pretty special day, and I think I walked out of the fitting out process with about 45 kilos worth of kit.
My word.
It was ridiculous. And
that's a gold medal in itself.
People think, you know, I've got loads of stash and what have you, but you know, when I got back, I actually didn't have that much. I swapped quite a lot when I was away, and then you come back and you leave your suitcase open for 2 minutes, and everybody's had a bit. So
is that the time that you get to meet the rest of the GB team?
No, you tend to go in. The kitting out process tends to last several days. I'm not sure exactly how long that is, but we were given a day and a time slot, so we turned up at that time. There were other athletes there, but only a few. So really, you're on your own, kind of going around. Somebody goes around with a clipboard, ticking off your sizes.
Have you got this?
Yeah, it was great. It really was. That's when you knew it was happening, and you go home, you open up the bags, and it's like, wow,
this is it now.
We're ready to go.
And I'm not sure if we're going to see you before the opening ceremony and before things kick off, because I know how busy you are, but I'm hoping we'll get to see you before then. But just very briefly, what was it like stepping out into that big arena for the opening ceremony? We all got goosebumps at home watching. It's quite an emotional thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean,
so what was it like? Can you describe it for us?
Deafening, but silent at the same time.
Okay.
You're kind of in your own little bubble, and just so many thousand, 80, 90,000 people in the stadium, but as you come out, the noise is just phenomenal. I dread to think what it's going to be like for London, because of it being host nation. All the countries parade out in alphabetical order, but Team GB will be at the end because we're host nation, which is better for the athletes, because they're not standing in the arena for so long.
Absolutely.
Just the flashes of the cameras, the entertainment that will be going on around the side of the track, because we actually parade out and they kind of filter you all the way around the track, so everybody in the stand, you pass everybody in the stand, and it's just something special. I've got hundreds of photos just from the opening ceremony. Oh,
fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. I'm even more excited now than we were when we first started talking, but thank you so much for talking to Devon Fit Camp today. We are super privileged to have inside information about what really does happen, and hopefully we'll get a chance to catch up with you before the games start.
And you keep up the good work as well.
Thank you very much. Thanks so much for your time.